Now we are officially live. Thank you everybody for joining. I am Kurt Wettermann of Wettermann Homes and Core Group Real Estate.
I am Richard Wettermann and ditto everything else he said.
So we're always going to start with a brief intro of what we do. We're a new construction single family home builder, state licensed, blah, blah, blah. We're also licensed real estate agents with the Core Group Real Estate, brokered by EXP.
Indeed.
And what's that?
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we're just going to keep it jovial. We know it's the holiday, so thank you all for
And we
tuning
like
in.
to tell our clients too, there's no reason this can't be fun.
Yeah.
Real
It's on the
estate-
back of the
yeah.
business cards.
Yeah, real estate as you know,
Construction.
if you're realtors following us, you know it can be stressful. Construction is, can be stressful enough. So,
Yep,
yeah.
we'll just interject movie quotes and things like that. That's just who
So
we are.
if we say something totally random or off base, it's
Yeah,
probably
just
a movie quote.
deal with it. What we offer, again, single family residences, we have stock plans, and we can do fully custom as well. FYI, mostly agents on here, but we have friends and family and stuff too. And so come to us, we can help with lot due diligence, new construction stock plans, and again, we can make adjustments to any plans, and again, start from scratch. So where we are, Central Florida, West Volusia down to North Osceola, and then into what we'll consider East Lake County. That's basically our trade and sub base.
Seminole and Orange County. too.
Seminole and Orange,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
assuming that
Yeah.
we'd go between West Volusia and North Osceola, but thank you for that. Maddie, our awesome backup dancer here, you can be reached. We'll put her contact info. So as an FYI, she can do social media content and she can do live streams and podcasting and all that kind of thing. So you can reach out to her if you have any interest. Doesn't really matter the industry or anything like that. So what this is for, it's a new construction, again, Q&A live stream. And so what we're going to do is we're going to dive into questions that we've got from the previous live stream that we want to answer for people. Wonderful questions that came up, and so we're just going to dive right in and make this fast and quick. We met with a client yesterday and said, well, what makes us different? It's kind of a question we get all the time, and ultimately the business model, how we operate, communication, who we are, personality, all that kind of thing. And then ultimately what I say is, well, don't take our word for it. Anybody who's interested, we'll give you our client list of every single build that we've ever had, and you can contact them. No problem doing that. Our clients, we have such close and strong relationships with them. Pretty much every single one of them will allow us to tour their homes. And
Yep.
so that's ultimately what I could say. We can answer a question in specificity if you want, but that's to the nature of who we are and what we do.
And we don't, as a non-typical builder, I guess you'd say, we don't have model homes built that you could tour. And so, as Kurt said, our clients have made themselves and their private residences available for us to bring clients to tour. So it's kind of our business card. What makes you different? I'm like, well, you can ask our clients, and we can actually go over and tour their home, and they've opened it up. So and we have great clients too.
Yeah, that's the other part of it. You need to choose your clients, and that's business advice for anybody. And so I got tongue-tied there. So again, this is live stream, so you cut me some slack. Oh, we got feedback that we talk too fast. Well, we don't want to make this long, so we have a higher words per count minute, so just work with us on that. Diving into the next question was, we got this question from our previous live stream, and can you mix and match the better and best plans? And so I'm going to rehash a little bit. We had basically a standard upgraded standard pricing that we have that was kind of out of a good, better, best. It was better pricing, and so what we were doing was evolving that pricing structure to be a good, better, or best pricing tier so people could decide which pricing fit their budget. So this person was asking, well, can we mix and match the scopes, the budgets between the trades and the scopes? And absolutely. And so I'm going to answer that with another example from our client meeting yesterday. This goes to our business model and how we operate. We have, as a part of our contract, the pricing breakdown of every single scope included in the construction. And ultimately what this comes down to is our business model is a cost plus flat fee, never to exceed, meaning we're charging you this much to build the home. That will never exceed that much, meaning we don't do a cost plus on if you do upgrades or anything like that. And so ultimately, we have one trade partner that handles the cabinets, countertops, flooring, tile, all that kind of thing. And there's budgets for each specific scope there. And you can mix and match those. Expanding on that, ultimately, you can mix and match with any scope in there. So if you wanted, we do a paver driveway, if you wanted to go to concrete and save that money, you can put it in the cabinets. We don't care. It doesn't change how we operate because we have we're doing a lean production model, so not to get into any of that, but again, because we're charging a flat fee, it doesn't change how we operate in the scheduling for anything like that as far as our trades are concerned. So we don't care. You can cut costs, mix and match. It's just trying to create some simplicity and budgeting visualization for the client to do good, better, or best.
Yep. And to really drill down into detail, to give it a specific example, is we have budgeted for flooring. We have a set budget amount, so there's a set dollar amount, and that is in our pricing model is tile flooring throughout the entire house. Some people, Kurt and my wife, both like carpet in the bedrooms. I really don't care. Some people prefer to have a hard surface.
We don't live together. I don't live with his wife. He was just saying, I'm like, wait a minute.
Like, it just happened that they agreed on the topic.
This awkwardness, but
I appreciate attention to detail. So, for example, if you were so inclined you wanted carpet in the bedrooms, well, carpet's going to be less money. So you would actually be saving money on that. So where does that extra money go? Well, you can take it off the total price, or you could say, you know what? Let me make up a number. I'm saving $1,000 by having carpet in the bedrooms. Well, you can either upgrade the cabinets, you can put an extra $1,000 there, or you can upgrade maybe the tile in your shower or in the backsplash, things of that nature. So you can get as specific as you want because we've allocated budgets. We have not allocated selections for each scope.
Good point.
And so I would say at least 3 or 4 times, just with clients that we have purchased new construction from another builder and said, hey, I don't like the selections. I'm willing to pay you more money if you give me this tile or this LVP, luxury vinyl plank. And the builder will say, no, I'm sorry. Even if the client says, I'm willing to pay out of my own pocket, and I'm sure the builder would probably charge a cost plus on that, and they still said no. So they get the cheapest thing in the house and then have somebody come in afterwards and just put in exactly what they want. So we said, you know what? It's more flexible, it's easier, the clients love it this much. It just makes the process so much more smoother, gives you so many more options. And frankly, we like to joke, it's like, we're not living there, so we really don't care. It's up to you, and then you make that decision.
Yeah, we're doing real-time question and answer here, so we're juggling. So if I look like I'm not paying attention, I'm really not, but I'm still paying attention. So we'll probably have some follow-up questions on that. Mm-hmm. Good point there. Give me 2 seconds. So next question, we had the mix and match. Financing, we didn't talk about financing before. So we don't care as long as the check cashes ultimately, So obviously we have cash clients. We have several preferred lenders so that you can pick from. They have all different kinds of products for new construction loans. They are one-time close. And so our client, potential client from yesterday is a veteran, so our lenders do have VA construction loan options as well. And the question we get a lot there is, do I have to own the lot or do you guys have to control it? It doesn't matter. Half of our clients own the lot and then they get a construction loan to build, and then the other half roll the lot purchase into the construction loan. So you have that option as well. We also have a third option, and my friend, she's probably on the live stream, Caitlin. And so we can also do builder financing as well. So for I guess we call a sizable deposit, usually about 20% down, we'll take that non-refundable deposit and then we can finance the build. And then when we get the CO, you'll roll that just into an end loan, and so you don't have to work with the construction financing. All that is an option. It's not a widely used option, but it is an option. I've had 1 or 2 clients ask about that previously. I didn't have that option to offer that, but now we do. So ultimately, when you're asking questions about finance, we're going to say yes because we have several options. Our lenders can do that. So I'm not going to delve too much into that one. If anybody has any questions about specificity and what that costs about down payment, you can get construction financing as low as, meaning it's not guaranteed, 3.5%, 5%. You can get FHA construction financing. So that option is out there if you're worried about larger deposits.
And we do have preferred lenders. Before, previously, we had clients who'd like, you know what, just go ahead and you're free to work with whoever you want. That did become an issue because different banks and different lenders have different ways in which they issue draws. And that is a very, very important point on our end.
So let me expand on that real quick, because what Richard's saying is, when I got started, I was like, I don't care what the client gets, as long as it get construction financing. And then as he conveyed, it created issues on how the bank operated with the draws, because what you have to understand as a client is that's your bank. But once we sign the contract and construction starts, we now have a 6 to 8 month relationship with that lender. And that can be a strenuous process for us about submitting for the draw, then getting the inspection and getting our money. And ultimately we say, I'm going to get my money. And so I say that jokingly, but that can be a stressful situation when you have trades relying to get paid, and then we're relying on the bank for them to inspect. And this is why communication is a key, and why the relationship with our lender is important. And so we had switched from not caring to having one preferred lender. And then what we found is, well, each lender is different, like every builder is. And so ultimately we say, hey, we have several preferred lenders. Do your research. We know these people. And so there's options out there for you. And again, finance is so variable that because we're in construction, we don't keep up with such specificity.
And as the realtors on tuning in right now know, your lender is always the greatest. When everybody else says they have their own lender, we kind of roll our eyes a little bit and say, yeah, I've heard that one before. So just it's kind of comparable to construction financing as well.
Yep. Moving on, next question. So I met with another builder. We have very, very close relationships with several builders in the area. We absolutely love them. They're larger custom builders that's not necessarily our market. So just as an FYI, there's some wonderful, wonderful people in this industry. And so I had met with another builder, and we were just talking shop. And then after he called me, he's like, hey, so how do you deal with clients or somebody says, what do you charge price per square foot? And he's like, I've really been struggling. It's really frustrating. And I was like, tell me about it. And this goes out to agents, and we can bust chops because we are agents. When somebody says, well, what do you charge price per square foot? My immediate question back to them is, well, how much do you pay for a car? Yeah, oh, I don't know. I mean, we all have different business models.
What kind of car?
Right. Yeah. I mean, where do you start? Each car manufacturer within their brand has different models, and within their different models, there's different price points and trim lines. And so it's the same with a builder. When you ask that question, we really can't answer that. I have stock plans ranging from $1,400 to say up to $4,000. Within each one of those plans, you have different price per square foot, because number one, you have economies of scale with the larger sizes. Is it 1 story? Is it 2 story? A smaller home is going to have less bathrooms than a larger home. You're going to have different HVAC calcs and electrical, plumbing, and all that kind of thing. So it's really such an arbitrary question. If that's what you're relying on as a client, or especially as a real estate agent, you're doing a disservice, number one, to your client. And if you're a client, you're not going to get yourself, you're going to set yourself behind the 8 ball, because you're not going to be able to compare apples to apples. And I kind of use the example of, as a licensed contractor builder in the state of Florida, if I was going to go build a home in a different state, what would I do? Well, I know exactly what I would do. I say, here's the plan and here's the finishes, and price that out between 2 or 3 builders as an example. And so that's kind of cut and dry. So that's an FYI to the agents, but also the potential clients, that let's go through the details. Once again, this is going to be one of the largest investments that you will ever make. And so it takes a little bit of time to go through the scopes and understand how each builder operates differently. We do budgets for a lot of our scopes. And so some builders will start at a base price. We'll all start at maybe a much more upgraded product. As an example, we have stacked upper cabinets as a standard in our kitchens. Almost no builder does that. So automatically we're $1,500 more. Never had a client say, I don't want those. And so that's why, again, we went to the good. Well, we can take all that away and we can get to your budget. Again, FYI. So it's interesting. I just wanted to give you a little inside baseball on what we talk about as builders and some of the frustrations, because then that's on us to take accountability to educate the market, agents and buyers. Like, hey, look, in order for us to give you the best deal and the highest value, let's take some time and go through these numbers and see where we need to be if you have a certain budget.
And to further expand on that just a little bit, because when people ask us a price per square foot, our first question is, oh, okay, do you have a lot? Do you own a lot? Well, if you don't, then we're just quoting to build the house. There's other variable costs, as Kurt had mentioned previously with our client yesterday. And it's like, okay, well, we can tell you just what it is to build the house. Where's the lot? What does the lot look like? Is it a low-lying lot? Is it an elevated lot? Is it a sloped lot? Those will all take into account, which can be pretty extreme variable costs and related to clearing, excavating, and fill. So it's one process to clear a lot, and depending on how thick the brush is, you might need to bring in a lot of fill, dirt, to get that up, what we call the finished floor elevation. So you need to build that pad up. Now you're looking at another expense. So you could conceivably be saying, there's one price to build the house, there's one price to buy the lot, and then there's another price to get that lot up to build, basically to be buildable.
Call it build
so
ready.
You could look at a lot and say, well, the lot's $50,000. I was like, well, it's going to take another $50,000 to get it to be buildable. So now another lot might be like, well, it's $10,000 to $20,000. So you can have extremes where it can be, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000.
And it can be more than that. As an example, what Richard's saying, in the community of Wedgefield, where we have some experience, there's wetlands, low-lying, all kinds of contingencies. You have to have well and septic, and then we put in a water system. Now you're talking about $50,000 for clear and grading and fill on a good day. Well, septic, water system, that's another $50,000. Potential wetlands mitigation, that could be up to $30,000. You're at $100,000 to $150,000, not including the lot, before you even bring or pour the slab. So these are things to keep in mind. And then so you can look at the alternative. You're at, if it's a $50,000 lot, you're $150,000 in, you're at $200,000 a lot. If you see a prime, fantastic lot for $125,000, you're way ahead of the game. So anyways, that's kind of a side note. These are the questions, again, that we can help you do the due diligence on some of these lots. The client we met with yesterday, we're going to be doing that, where we can assess wetlands, utilities, excavation, clearing, grading, and make an assessment for them to make the best decision possible based on their budget.
And it's helpful especially for fellow realtors to kind of have a base level of knowledge going into it, especially if they're looking at new construction. So just definitely a few more things to think about. Price per square foot is it's a good metric to establish value. As far as cost to build, it's really difficult. And we all know as realtors that once you give an estimate, it kind of becomes a contract. Like, it's apparently written in stone sometimes. So that's why we're always very hesitant to
classic line. I won't hold you to this, which means we're going to hold you to it.
We know it's an estimate. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
That's why we put in contingencies and variables and contingency funds and that kind of thing.
And to a real quick point, as far as commissions for realtors, yes, we do pay those. And we pay at slab,
yeah,
correct?
That is key. We had some agents in response to our outreach. I was like, well, if you're not interested, that's fine, but we pay full commission at the completion of the slab, not the CO. So let me tell you a quick story about that, the way I shifted my business. There's another builder who we highly respect, love these people. And so they're very adamant about they pay commission too. And I was like, those were my instincts, because we're also licensed agents. We understand those relationships with clients, and those agents need to earn a living that way as well. So we're very upfront about that. And this agent also does that, or excuse me, that builder. And so I had always paid, and most builders, almost all builders, pay at the certificate of occupancy when the house is complete. And so for an agent, you're going to have to wait 6 months on a good day. Usually the production builders can get it done quicker. But your custom home could take 1 year to 2 years to wait on that. And so this builder's like, well, we pay at completion of the slab. And I'm like, wow. I mean, isn't that a risk? What if something happens? And I love this guy's train of thought. And he said, well, has that ever happened to you where a client just didn't finish or something? I said, no. He was like, well, what are we talking about? And then ultimately to consider, well, if the client, you finish the slab and you pay out the commission, and the client's like, I'm in a lot of trouble. I can't build this house. Well, you just put the house back on the market and then just compensate accordingly. So again, that's a little inside baseball on how we operate as far as commissions and why we do that. We want to incentivize and bring clients to the table. And so that's one way to do that. Our outreach as also licensed agents and licensed contractors, that we try and blend the two together.
So, and to, you know, with our, some of our fellow builders, you know, as some of you fellow realtors know, going to some of these production builders, it can be a challenge sometimes, especially it seems like maybe they're intent on trying to cut the realtor out that brings a client. So some builders see realtors as their independent sales force, and that's kind of the model and the thinking behind how we operate, how we'd like to operate. As Kurt said, being both realtors and builders, we understand both sides of the transaction. So,
yep, and we try and bring a collaborative outlook into the process. So, and we do appreciate you guys. Finishing through the questions, I think we're kind of wrapping it up here. We had one question. I thought we had it before, but we'll answer it. Can you break down the biggest financial advantages of buying new construction versus resale in today's market? I'm going to be as broad and specific as possible. We haven't really run comps, so you'd have to answer that question based on buying this particular home or that particular home. I can give you an overall is that your ongoing expenses for a new home are going to be much less, so there's a financial advantage to buying new construction, because your maintenance costs and things like that will be much lower. That's right off the top of my head. So I'm answering this on the cuff. So I'm sure there's some other answers that we could give.
it's really very, I would say, not to punt the question, because it is a very good question. I would say immediately I thought is your timeline. We have a client now who lives out of state, who they were like, hey, we're not in a rush. We want to build new construction. So, I mean, they have been just a great client, and it's really the ideal client for builders to be like, I'm not going to be even in town. You just give me updates regularly. We've also, what makes us different, we give weekly updates. We also, each client is added to our Builder Trend software, which is scheduling software. So they see real-time updates where we are.
It's more comprehensive than that.
Yep.
And so it's scheduling,
We just get their beaks wet a little bit.
Right. Okay. It is a comprehensive software. So it's budgeting, scheduling, finishes. It is the construction process. So our clients have access to everything. In addition, on the side of that, we have security cameras on. I was showing one of my friends last night. I got an alert on my security camera at 9 p.m. at night. And I was like, what the heck is this? And so it was my client out there. So we can communicate through the camera. So I was telling my client, what the hell are you doing there? So that's the kind of rapport we have with our clients, where we can bust chops on a security camera. So that's available to our clients to view. They can view the property 24 hours a day. And in addition, like we're saying on Builder Trend, they have access to everything, and that is real time. So if there's a scheduling change that we go in and do, that automatically sends a ding to the client, a notification to the client, hey, the schedule has been moved, and it can send emails. The selections process for everything is online, and so I'll send those out for approval, and then they have to send it back. So really, this is we're trying to have the most well-oiled machine for a lean production style model of businesses.
Transparency.
Yeah.
And so if you wanted midnight blue on the back bathroom wall, that's going to be in there. So when it comes time to paint and somebody says, hey, that's not exactly, it's like, okay, well, you can kind of compare. And so it was Kurt alluding to with the camera too, specifically, we set up cameras on each job site that is both for security and for the client to view, and for us, if we can't make it to the job site, some of these job sites can be 40 minutes away, for us to be able to view remotely. Our clients also get access to that camera, so they can log in and say, hey, just want to check the job site. We have one that hasn't broken construction yet. They live out of state, as I said. They need to have somebody come in and mow the grass, so they can kind of check it, saying, oh, hey, that, it looks great. And I think I answered your question, Matt, about the advantages. I know we tangent flagged a little bit that we're kind of like squirrels sometimes, where we scatter all over the place. So really, new construction versus resale is really a time constraint. It's very specific.
Ultimately, to sum that up, all the advantages, if we're being buzzed, are new construction, except timeline. And so we can probably match budgets. If you have a foreclosure or a short sale, those aren't comparable. And so, but outside of that, but if this elicits any more questions and stuff, this is the process that we'll do. We'll have the next live stream and we'll answer previous questions. And so having said that, we're going to wrap it up because we want to be timely. Thank you all for joining. I can see right there. I can't see, but I can see. So love to have you guys join. Again, this is a process, so we'll continually do it. So you can, number one, learn about us, who we are, and also educate yourself on the market and construction. And if you had any intentions of building new construction, we will be sending out text reminders for future updates. Share, and comment.
If you have a preferred method of communication that you would prefer, let us know that too. We can make those accommodations as well.
Please make sure you follow Wettermann Homes. There are restrictions on social media when it comes to the business account about live streaming. So that's why sometimes I'm streaming from my personal accounts, because we're working through all that stuff. It is a process. So make sure you please. I will never say smash that like button. I can't stand that. I'm sorry. So I have all social media ticked.
Select the, what is it?
Click on the...
Select the like button.
Click on the follow button or whatever. So do that, Wettermann Homes, so we can live stream from that. Follow and subscribe. All my profiles are public. I mean, I post a lot, so you guys know where I'm at all the time. So you can DM, call, or text, message. We check all that. And so I think we've beat that horse to death, right, Maddie? We good? Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. We will see you around. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And see you guys out there. Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.